Tales of Arise was always on my radar because I just been loving the Tales games since Vesperia. The games just kind of connected to me big time because I've just always had a blast playing them, and I'm also an anime fan, so they kind of have that anime feel to them. So I played through all of them since Vesperia. I went back and played Symphonia too. But I even beat Exilia 1 and 2 with my wife, and we both had a great time in the co-op. So I was really excited to finally pick up Arise, which looked like a nice upgrade to the old games. And an upgrade this game was. Alfin is our main lead this time around, and he's just a dude who can't remember his life before becoming a slave. Now, the Amnesia RPG storyline strikes again. We've all been there, except this time, it actually has a lot of unique and interesting twists later on. I'm not going to spoil them, but wow. But the main story really focuses on the tie between the slavers and the slaves, and maybe kind of uniting the two of the people before they're just killing each other and using each other. So it's very much kind of like a rich versus poor storyline, but it actually works because the world feels real. The characters aren't just so black and white, and there's a lot of gray in between, and the actions between both sides could be wrong. And so even though sometimes you feel like, wow, they're justified in doing that, the results or what happened because of that are pretty horrifying. So I really enjoyed that part of it. And going along with the story, you have these like little events which you can get to kind of know your teammate by clicking the RB button on the Xbox, or I'm assuming the R1 on the PlayStation. But this has been in Tales games forever, but it's a nice addition to the game's story, and you get a lot more lore and also some great character building moments. And on top of that, this game, instead of it used to being kind of like these little boxes with great little anime faces, this is more of a like kind of like Scarlet Nexus, like kind of 3D painting version of it, but it looks pretty good. And then you can also do this at the campfires at night after you've traveled and fought many battles. You sit at night, they kind of talk and, you know, gossip. It's really funny. And then you can sometimes have special trigger moments right before falling asleep to talk to someone, and if you do that, you might become closer to them, which you know, boost up things later on. So I really like this part of it, really getting to know your characters. It's always been a thing in Tales, but in this game, I actually was interested in every single character, which is pretty rare, even in Tales games for me. Also, I just want to mention this world. It goes along with the story because it is breathtaking to walk through a lot of these areas, from lush forests to amazing castle buildings to busy and exciting towns. Everything is just a pleasure to run through, and even though some places you go through multiple times to pick up side quests, it's always a joy to go through them. So I really enjoyed that part of it as well. Alright, and the gameplay is the biggest and most impressive thing of the bunch for all the great things this game does. It's slick and quick, even at the start of the game, but once you begin to get some teammates, wow, it's just amazing. And you're getting more of these arts, more arts than you could probably ever use in the game, mixed with like these support co-op attacks and specials and teammate attacks, mixed with the fire sword attacks that you can do but you want to save for only big moments because it drains your health. This gameplay shines so much. It's the best way to describe it. It's basically a chaotic beauty. It's so chaotic when watching, but it flows so nice when you're playing. And to be honest, that's the best compliment I can give it. I can't tell you how many times I just get exciting doing these new combos with arts and mixing it up with co-op specials and finishing moves. It looks and feels tight and amazing. I know, that's not a sexual innuendo. I'm really saying that. This is by far, in my honest opinion, of playing now probably about 10 or 12 Tales games, this is by far the best Tales combat for me, and I loved the combat in this game.
Blow them away!
Here I go!
In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
The side missions are pretty simple, but they also, you know, contribute some funny moments. These guys are kind of idiots that give you side quests half the time. Some of them are just, you know, standard, go kill this big monster for me. But they also give you great rewards and SP. SP is used to build your character and get new arts or new moves or new stats. So they're actually worth doing side quests in this game. And then the big special enemies that glow or have like the electricity around them, they are like a tougher enemy. They're bigger, they're stronger. These are a blast to fight. They often offer great challenge, and they're worth doing because the battles are fun, and then you get great rewards. So I really like that give and take, that you have to struggle to beat them, but then you get a lot with it. Talking about bosses, the main ones in this game often link to a character, so in battle, sometimes you're able to pull off like these special move events or showcase the character fighting. It's just kind of small things like this that make the boss fights extremely memorable for me. I probably never forget the first time one of the characters is so pissed at one of the villains that you can actually get a move where he breaks through and he's just screaming this guy's name and just decks him in the face and breaks his barrier. It looks great, and cinematically it's by far leaps and bounds beyond anything that the other Tales games offered. But besides all that, the fights of the boss battles are often challenging, and it makes it even fun to fight more of an action standpoint than just a general like boosting up stats. You actually have to be able to fight pretty well, dodge, counter, all that. I really enjoyed the boss battles in this game. So the customization in this game, if you never played a Tales game, it works pretty well just like all the other Tales games. You get like these collected owls throughout the world, and these guys give you kind of items. So like glasses, sunglasses, horns, halos, wings, tails, things like that. And you could customize and put them on all the different characters. And what's really cool is they show up in the cutscenes, so it makes you feel like it matters what you're equipping. Also, the weapons always change. When you get new weapons, they change the look. So that's really cool. I wish the armor would change, but they actually give you some cool armor variations in this game. And then, of course, you can spend money to buy really cool ones, but I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so customization in terms of putting on accessories and stuff looks really cool. Listen, I can really go on forever and ever on how much I love this game, because I really do. If I had to nitpick, and I guess I wish, I don't know, the fishing game was more fun in this game, or I can raise animals on the barn in a more interesting way instead of just putting them up there and coming back and getting the stock later. That's kind of simple. But it's just such small things, like, you know, we're just going to set that to the side because you don't even need to do that stuff. I am loving and loved every moment that I'm playing of this game. I thought Vesperia might be impossible to top for my favorite Tales game. I gave that like an 8.8 or a 9 out of 10. This one, I think, this isn't just the best Japanese RPG this year. This actually might be my game of the year, period. I really have a hard time seeing anything top how much I'm enjoying this game. So, well worth the purchase at full price, 100%, whether you get it on Xbox or PlayStation. And I'm going to give this the rare 10 out of 10 that I usually don't give. I am loving this game.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Here, let me help.
I know you want to kill me. I think not.
Get up!